Sup? I'm reliably informed that I'm terrible at pimping my stuff, so here I am, pimping my stuff. You can buy most of that shit that I make over at post-mort.com. Hope to see you there. This isn't the sort of thing I would normally cover on the channel, but it's tangential to some of our other interests, I think. It's a censorship-related issue, but it's not exactly censorship. We've talked a great deal in the past about fiscal censorship, the use of financial muscle to censor certain products and so on. And we're really vulnerable to that in the online space because there aren't that many payment processors, and the ones that are most open like to gouge people the most. Banks haven't really still adjusted to online business, which means most people are using PayPal, and PayPal has some peculiarities to it. They make, quote, moral decisions about what they allow to be bought and sold through their platform. So your money can't necessarily be spent through PayPal. And I'm not talking outlandish things like weapons, for example, or anything illegal. I'm talking about legal things. Now, we've seen this happen with adult workers, sex workers, and so on, whether or not the proceeds of their business are legal within whatever country they happen to be working within. We've seen PayPal and others flex their muscles to try and stem that for whatever reason, not to pay out people who produce pornography or erotica or you name it, really. They seem to be making this moral decision, and slippery slope is a fallacy, but now we have PayPal not just restricting sale of vaping items, but completely shutting it down through their service. Now, it used to be restricted, like buying and selling alcohol is restricted, but there are licenses now for vape sellers in many nations in the same way that there are licenses to sell alcohol. So you're doing a completely legal form of business, and they're not letting you use a PayPal account. But it gets worse. If you've been involved with PayPal as long as I have, you'll know that there are plenty of horror stories about them freezing accounts, taking the money, insisting they're not a bank while operating as a bank. And this is what they're doing here. So I'm just reading from the article on planetofthevapes.co.uk. The vape companies have experienced issues with PayPal in the past, needing confirmation and so on, not least a problem that funds and accounts would be frozen for a considerable length of time, causing serious concerns for businesses impacted by COVID-19 restrictions. Now an increasing number of reports are cropping up of companies across Europe and beyond being blocked from using PayPal. Now keep in mind that not all vaping products even have nicotine in them. You can vape without it involving nicotine at all if you want. And it's a great tool for helping people get off smoking. My partner got off smoking by vaping. Yeah, still nicotine, but it's a lot healthier. So various companies, including Nico VIP, Fast Tech, which is a Chinese company, and others, have had their accounts closed and told that their funds are being kept for 6 months to ensure that any customer refunds can be channeled through PayPal before they get their money back. Now you can imagine this will be ruinous at the moment to people, particularly if they also have a bricks and mortar business, where they're just not going to be able to cope with that money being tied up and kept away from them. And this happened without any warning or alert or any update, and it does seem to be a moral decision. Now, no particular reason has been given to most people involved, but it's being reported in France that PayPal has decided that the sale of products related to electronic cigarettes was no longer ethical for the company, and is now closing accounts without notice and definitely. It's a legal product, as are other things that PayPal and other banks have decided to restrict and censor. It's not their decision, I would say. You're there to facilitate the transmission of money from one account to the other, and if the business is legal and above board, then you should have no capacity to block it. We've seen this with porn, we've seen this with erotica books, we've seen this all over the place. and fiscal censorship is a real and growing problem, and now it's spread to vaping. So what else is going to be considered unethical? Zang.
The atomic age, with its A-bombs, transistorized radios, jet engines, and a new breed of dangerous supervillain, requires heroes to face the challenge. That's where you come in. The world needs you, Agent. Agent of Swing.